Welcome back, guys, to Spoil Me Nisi. This is Nisi here. I hope you're all doing very well. So today I would like to talk about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. If you've seen previous videos of mine from months ago when I first started YouTube, you would know that I'm a pretty big fan of the Power series. So of course I have to talk about all of the series. If you haven't already seen the first episode of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, just to let you know, this video is going to have tons of spoilers. So let's get into it. So in this first episode, I think that it was explosive. So much information was thrown at us. Usually in these first episodes, they usually make it like very slow, not too much going on, but they brought the heat with this episode. It's pretty good. When I first heard they were going to make a Kanan series, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about that. I wasn't too excited about it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it now. I'm interested. And I do look forward to, God willing, making videos about this series and Power Book 4, the one for Tommy. So let's start out with Raquel. So Kanan's mom, Raquel, you don't really hear any mention about her in the original Power series. Even when we're introduced to Kanan's character, I don't recall her ever being brought up in the show. So I do think it's interesting that we're getting to know her now, but it does make me wonder, where is she now? Like, we know how Kanan's story ends. He gets shot by the police, but since there was no tell of her, it makes me wonder, like, is she alive? Is she in protective custody somewhere? Is she in jail? I am interested. I'm very interested to see how Raquel's story ends. So when the episode first started, I didn't like Raquel at first. I didn't think I would like her, but as the episode went on, I see a lot of similarities between Raquel and other moms that we know in the Power series. She's very very fashionable, very beautiful. Watching Kanan's mom on the show, you can see that while Kanan did come from a bad area, he wasn't poor, actually. His mom had money. It was blood money, essentially, because she was committing crime and all that stuff. But he did have, growing up, may not have been a silver spoon, but he wasn't poor either. One thing I noticed about these shows is that like when you have like these like crazy characters like Kanan or even a Tariq, a lot of times you can see that like these kids don't come from like Christian families. Now that's one thing that I compare between Tariq and Kanan, and I have to make this comparison. And this makes Tariq even more of like, I don't know, man, kind of like, I don't know, I don't even know the word for it. But Tariq really came up in a good home because like his family, his dad was into like some bad stuff, and so was his mom, but he had his grandma that instilled like some good values in them. And I think that Tasha, and the grandma did mention a few times about like God, so apparently like they were Christians to some extent on Power. So Tariq did have like a pretty good upbringing and a good moral foundation, which he decided to walk away from. Whereas on the other end, Kanan, he came up in a broken home, but with a mom that was doing pretty well. So he had like a decent house, he had all of his needs met. And he had some sort of status because of who his family was. But you don't hear just yet his mom mention anything about like morals or anything about like God or her being Christian or anything like that. So it does kind of seem as though, even though Kanan started out as like a nice kid, kind of, certain morals just were not instilled in him from a young age. So I did notice that about his mother. So since we're on the topic of Kanan, so this first episode does kind of put you, in the life of Kanan a little bit. You find out that, on the Power series, Kanan, in my opinion, was the worst character. I thought he was so like evil and cutthroat, and for him to kill his own kid, it's like, man, Kanan is like crazy. But you see in this episode that even though he didn't start out that way, it was kind of in him. And he wanted to be in that very violent, blood money game so bad, that he made a really bad choice, in the end by killing those kids on the corner. Now, I know that Kanan said that, he pretty much killed that guy because they were on his mom's corner. But personally, I kind of believe that he had other motives behind that. I remember the scene when he was with Jukebox and he was looking at that girl that he liked, and he was staring at her with her boyfriend. It's kind of ironic to me that he ends up killing that same guy. So, I don't know. He's saying in the episode that it was because of his mom's turf and all that stuff, but part of me believes that it was easy for him to actually kill that guy because he was dating the girl that Kanan wanted, and he wants her badly. So I'm looking forward to see what happens from that, and if it's revealed that maybe that's why he killed him and not so much because of turf. Another thing that I want to bring up is Jukebox. So it's interesting because she's another one. We know how her story ends. She ends up getting killed in Power. But right now that she's younger in the show, you see that she wasn't always the heartless, evil person that she was in Power. In Power, she was like a police officer. She was a dirty police officer. And she was just mean. She was terrible, actually. I think that Jukebox might have been one of the worst antagonists of the show, because she was like that. She was vicious. But you can see in this first episode of Power Book 3, she didn't start out that way. She actually, you see that she was a lesbian, so she was kind of struggling with like coming out. Her dad didn't know that she was. She was kind of sneaking around with this other girl that was pretty much on the other side of the tracks, a lot more privileged. You can see that, like, even though she was from this family that was into bad things, she wanted out. She didn't want any parts of that world. She and Kanan were close, but Kanan squandered away his opportunity of greatness, and Jukebox pretty much made it known that she would switch places with him in a minute. So I am interested to see how the rest of the season goes. And how the next season goes, because I'm interested to see how her character developed into what we saw in Power. So I noticed a couple things about Raquel, and she has some things in common with both Tasha and Monet. So one thing that I noticed that she has in common with Tasha is that Kanan is pretty much her get out of the hood, I guess, meal ticket. She was trying to explain to him that she wants him to do well, go to college, maybe be like a big CEO of a company one day. And she tried to explain to Kanan that if he does well, she does well, because chances are when he leaves the hood, he's going to take his mom with him. But Kanan was so big on being part of whatever they had going on in the family, he was blinded to that, and he couldn't even see that whereas he was thinking that his mom just kind of wanted him to go away, he didn't see that him getting ahead meant that she gets ahead, as backwards as that is. And then Raquel reminds me of Monet also. And I say that because Monet is the queen pin. She has a family business. She's big on family, just like Raquel. But she makes a point to let the men know that work with her, like her brothers, or in Raquel's case, like in Monet's case, like her sons. She makes it a point to remind them that she is the HBIC. She is the one that's in charge, and she doesn't let anybody forget that. So that's something that I think that Raquel really has in common with Monet. Now, I do have some theories when it comes to Raquel and Monet. I don't know what it is, but I feel like we're going to find out later on in the season that Raquel and Monet are related. I don't know what it is, but I feel like we're going to find out that in some way Raquel and Monet are in fact related to each other. And here's why I say that. Cain and Kanan, they're not like common names, considering the original Cain that we've all heard of, Cain in the Bible, how he was like evil, killed his own brother out of jealousy. That's just not a name that you really see many people naming their kids. So it often makes you wonder, why would somebody name their kid Cain or Kanan? I don't know. But I feel like there's no mistake, or there's no like I don't know, it's not a coincidence that Monet has Cain and Raquel has Kanan. So I do believe that either they're sisters in some way. Like, I think it could be possible that they could be like maybe sisters or something. Or another theory that I have is that maybe Monet and Kanan, maybe they had a thing going on before Lorenzo got in the picture. And here's why I say this. You know, personally, I still don't believe that Cain is Lorenzo's biological son. And I say that because, you know, the makers of the show Power Book 2, they made it a point to get two kids that do look biracial to play Monet's son and daughter, but they make it a point to make Cain someone that does not look biracial. Not that all biracial people have a particular look, but he looks more like he would be Kanan's son than what he looks like he would be Lorenzo's son. I'll just put it like that. So I think that there's a reason why she gave him that name. Now, it would also make sense that Kanan is his dad, because we do know from Power that Kanan did do a lot of time in jail that was directly linked to Ghost and Tommy. So I think that it could be possible that maybe Monet is someone that Kanan had like a relationship with, and maybe she didn't want him in his life, or maybe he got with Lorenzo or something like that, and Lorenzo raised him as his own son. I don't know. But I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that either Monet and Raquel are going to be related like by blood, like cousins or something, or we're going to find out that Kanan is Cain's dad. But I can't wait to find out more about that, because I'm kind of leaning in those two directions when it comes to that whole situation. But you guys let me know what you think of my theories. So that's pretty much it for this video. I was kind of upset they didn't really have any coming attractions for the next episode, but I guess it just keeps us wanting to know more, keeps it a lot more interesting. So if you haven't already done so, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification button so that you know when I come out with new videos. And make sure you share this video. And until next time, God bless you all in Jesus' name, and peace.